back to the Mediocre Disc Golf Podcast, an average podcast for the average disc golfer. As always, I'm Evan Amstutz here with packing extraordinaire Dan Hesser. We're happy you could join us. Dan, how are you doing today?
That is an understatement, man. We are getting geared up to make the move, so we're doing everything we can to try to put everything in boxes and such and get it out the door so we can get on the road.
Yeah, packing's like being a professional Tetris player, and unpacking is being a professional Jenga player.
I
At least that's how
know.
we end up packing and unpacking, is stacks of things that you try to.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. Um, yeah, it's a pain, but I'm excited to get on the road and start this next chapter. So,
Yeah,
how are you doing, man? How you just got done playing Chain
yeah,
Hawk Open? Spoiler alert for everybody who didn't see it, but that was some pretty awesome shooting by the MPO guys I saw in Terry Miller's coverage. That was great stuff. AJ Carey, shout out. That dude was making putts from freaking everywhere. That was
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to watch the pros. Double G. So I I personally had not seen any of the pros, like the big touring pros, play before.
Okay,
I
yeah.
did not realize how 90% of them are super lanky, just like lanky boys.
hmm
And so I saw like Andrew Fish and Gavin Rathbun and Thomas Gilbert first,
Lanky, tall dudes.
lanky, tall dudes. And then just when I happened to catch up with the card, Garrett was last. I was like, oh, Garrett's
Garrett's
like
not a tall,
kind of,
lanky dude.
Garrett is kind of my size. Paul's kind of
Yeah,
my size. Like, there's
yeah.
hope. I can throw at tour distances. I don't need to be a lanky boy to do that.
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, the control, like there are some of the holes that specifically at Jonesville are super low ceiling and super tight lines. And like I'm throwing rollers and trying to sky things out over top of the tunnel. And they're just like, yeah, no, we're throwing a putter right up the gut that's going to land
hmm
perfectly flat and just slide
Yeah,
on up to the pin.
yeah.
It was impressive to watch. Like I'm having to try to figure out ways to break the hole. And they're like, we're going to play it as an intended, and we're going to play it better than those who try to break the hole.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to Nick Masters as well
Mm-hmm.
and Aaron Doyle, but Nick Masters as well, who got his fair share of coverage, and he's a Jacksonville pro, and it was really cool to see him throw those same shots and keep up with the big boys. It was, he was in it. He was
Mm-hmm.
definitely in it up until that last round. So that was uh, that was really cool to see. It was also
Mm-hmm.
inspiring to see, some 5 foot missed putts, and I'm not alone.
One of us, one of us. Yeah, it was great as well. Lots of friends of the show had a pretty
Yeah,
successful tournament. Aaron, Trevor Murphy, Kim
yeah.
Hatcher,
Kim
uh,
Hatcher winning FA1. That was
by like
awesome to
eight
see.
strokes or something.
Yeah, she won FA2 last year, right? And now she moved up to
Yes, yeah,
FA1, and she won
and
that as well.
yeah, she had a 5 stroke lead going into the last day and just put down the
Yeah, cruise
accelerator.
control. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and then Chloe Alice won MPO, which
FPO.
I said MPO, FPO, which I think would have been like, I think that's where Kim is probably headed next year. So
Yep.
you know,
And got to chat with Terry Miller. So it was
yeah,
cool from the podcaster's perspective of like, hey, all these people that I have met through this, and getting to see Terry actually work was pretty cool.
super cool. Yeah, I met.
Super nice guy. Like
Yeah,
had a
he is.
chat with him before a couple of the rounds, bought one of his discs, and he was more than happy to sign it and that sort of thing. Uh, but just asking about the show, it was pretty cool.
He asked how the show is going and everything. That's super
Yeah,
cool. That's
yeah, yeah.
super cool.
Like one of those people that is a celebrity in our sport and is a genuine person.
Yeah, he's a
He,
celebrity or a sport, and he doesn't play professionally, which is super cool. Like he's strictly a media celebrity, which is cool that our sport even has one of those. But
yeah, absolutely. Uh, and he does a great job. He got every single round out by 9 o'clock that night.
Dude, I was my home here in Arizona. We were watching the coverage, the same day, which was insane to like it was so cool. It was so cool. I was, managed not to even see spoilers because of it. It was super cool.
Yeah, it was it was very interesting, like being on the ground, because we would Josh, my wife, Kim, and I would all be up early to watch most of Kim's round. My wife would stay with Kim for the rest of her round. Josh and I would go play in MA1. The girls eventually catch up to us and follow us around, and then we'd go watch the pros. So we were pretty much out there all day.
Hmm.
We'd get home, eat dinner, go do something fun, and then come back, and coverage would be there. Like Terry Miller has incredible turnaround times.
Did you watch the coverage and try to spot yourself in the background?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I did that last year. I was like, ah, there you
yeah. I made it on coverage.
you know, that one
Check.
like that one like super pixelated thing when I was on Disc Golf Pro
Yeah,
Tour
just
background.
a silhouette on the top of a hill.
I know me and my dog just standing there. I was like, I'm on coverage, guys.
Yeah,
That's hilarious.
but
No, cool, man.
it was a lot of fun, and like I've been saying, I'm now in that stage where this is where I was like starting to really take disc golf seriously a year ago,
Mhm.
and I shot 60 rating points higher than I did last year,
Heck
and
yeah, dude.
I still feel like I could have played a lot better, but as I
Yeah.
told someone, I'm pretty sure everybody but the winner says that at the end
I
of
bet
every
even the
tournament.
winner says that.
Yeah,
But yeah,
exactly.
I'm with you, man. I feel like yeah, you tied with our boy Matt Melendez and
Yep.
Josh Hatcher beat you guys by one stroke. So
Yeah. We had a great second round. It was
I saw that.
Matt Hatcher and I. So that was a lot of fun.
I was gonna ask you who was the third guy on the car or the fourth guy on the car rather, and did you know them or was it?
I know him. I actually ran into him at New World one day and just played around with him, and then played with him the last round of Aldasta a couple weeks ago, then played with him the first round here at Cho, and then played with him the second round. So I was just like, at that point, Brian was my boy.
Gotcha. Yeah, because I was like, man, that'd be kind of odd to be like that
Hmm.
fourth guy on the or like three buddies were like staying together,
Right.
and like hanging out the whole weekend, and you're just like this random guy just like walking up, hey guys, and like that'd just be super awkward. But glad to know that he wasn't, or he was familiar with you at least. So that was cool.
Yeah. He knew the energy that was about to be coming his way.
Trash talking and
Trash
mediocre
talking.
shots.
Yeah. And meanwhile, Josh shot 1,000 rated round.
I saw that. That was nasty.
It was cool
So
to watch. Like, it was one of those you didn't realize what was happening until round, I think, hole 16. Matt and I started processing how well Josh was playing. And because we took a look and we saw that he shot up the leaderboard.
yeah,
So it was a lot of fun.
yeah.
And
It's
every year people need to go play the Chain Hawk Up. And I don't care where you're from. You got it. Two great courses, such a well run tournament on every division. It's a great time.
I almost made it. I almost was gonna fly back just for that tournament, but flights were crazy and everything. I was like, I can't do it. So
Yeah, that's fair.
yeah, but it's super cool. It's a really fun track, both courses. It's super exciting. To go hang out with everybody and the tournament's really well ran. So
Hmm.
it's a good
Awesome
time.
players,
Yeah.
awesome players pack stuff.
Oh,
And for
you got a Bushnell. You got a Stool. What else did you get? A Ballista Pro.
they got the Ballista Pro, which feels really good. I've never tried the Latitude Champ plastic, but feels really good.
Yeah,
Uh,
you're sponsored by AGO, right? So you probably won't
yes,
throw that.
I will not be throwing it at all. So to promote our podcast over on YouTube, now we're multi-platform whole deal. If you leave a comment If you leave a comment and like our YouTube video for this episode, which I believe will be episode 44, we will pick before next week's episode comes out and send you a Chainhawk Open 2022 Ballista Pro.
That's cool, man. Yeah, no, it's YouTube right now. It's just audio only, but who
Mm-hmm.
knows what else we'll put out there. So go check it out, and yeah,
You mean you're promising to the people that I'm gonna film not after I work out, or film like record not in my pajamas like I've done multiple times?
yeah, we're gonna have to
Either that or people are just gonna see me in my pajamas or post workout.
just just tank tops and snapback hats, just chilling. Yeah, no, it'd be cool to who knows what we could put out there. We could put rounds, we could put just random content. So
Mm-hmm.
definitely go check it
Absolutely.
out. And yeah, well, I'm pretty excited to jump into this next portion of the interview.
Yeah, speaking of content, let's get back to our interview with Anthony Bodanza. This week's episode is brought to you by The Disc Shop. One of the best days for a disc golfer is New Disc Day. With different runs of discs, the best way to get exactly what you want is by seeing what you're buying. The Disc Shop in Middleburg, Florida has the largest selection in store in Jacksonville. Want the latest from Discmania? The Disc Shop has you covered. Looking for starter kits to introduce your friends? Head on down to the Disc Shop. If you prefer the convenience of online shopping, head over to thediscshop.com for all your disc golf needs. Listeners get 10% off when using the code MDGPOD at checkout online or by mentioning the podcast while in store. Located halfway between Trinity and Ronnie Van Zant, the Disc Shop is the spot.
So you said you're releasing like 30 something videos next month. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
when we're talking about content creation and everything else like that,
Hmm.
how, where are you coming up with all these ideas for all these videos? I mean, are you like what do you got coming up?
Yeah. So I'm definitely an ideas guy. So like I have I have content scheduled for probably the next 45 days ish.
Gosh.
And then I also have like another maybe 50 to 150 ideas of content that I want to film at some point. That is like these are good enough ideas that I could pick them out of the hat somewhere. What's nice is there's plenty of discs that people are interested in reviewing, and um, a lot of it, a lot of the content that's coming up is disc reviews. A lot of it is smaller companies that I want to highlight a little bit. A lot of it as well is my off-season training. So I'm running something on my channel right now called Project 100, where I was going to call Project 500 because it was my goal to consistently throw around 500 feet and add essentially about 100 feet of distance on my backhand. But I changed it to Project 100 so that more people in my audience could be engaged with it. And there's three main things. One is you do a field work session per week. One is you do a non-disc golf workout per week. And the third is you average 100 putts a day over the off season. And so those three things alone, I think, are not big asks, but they will dramatically improve your disc golf game over the offseason. Even just averaging 100 putts a day, even if you only do that, you're going to shave so many strokes. And like I've seen that help me so much even already in the 2 weeks that I've done it. But every Saturday, as well as some Wednesdays this upcoming month, it's going to be videos covering how I'm doing in my offseason training, as well as like my tips that I'm finding as I figure out these things along the way. Because I'm not a coach and I don't really have a desire to be a coach. I would rather be a player who hires a coach. But as I'm learning things, there's going to be things that as I'm applying them to my game, I have realizations about them that I think I can articulate in a way that might resonate with some people. So even though I'm not a coach, I'm going to say, hey, this is what I'm learning and thinking. Hopefully this helps you because this is how it's being implemented in my game. And so a lot of the content is going to be that. And then the reason it's 39 videos instead of just 31, because I have been posting a video a day for this month in November. One of them is literally uploading to YouTube right now as we're talking. And then I posted pretty much a video a day in October as well. But the reason it's 39 is because everybody's doing Vlogmas or Dismiss. So they're posting a video every day for the first 24 days, and I can't have them cramp it on my style, one. And then second, I'm also doing battle videos every day for the first 8 days of this month. So there will be 2 videos every day for the first 8 days, and then one video here and out. So lots and lots of stuff. Don't worry, I have plenty of ideas.
What are the battle videos? Is that like the Foundation Bogey Bros battle thing, or is it a different?
Similar. I just call it Bodanza battles. It's me versus a subscriber or a couple subscribers. Um, and they actually, interesting, there are videos that didn't do super well on my channel because they're more like my audience will really like them, my engaged audience. But if I'm looking at growth, it's not something that is necessarily interesting from an outside perspective unless I'm necessarily like playing against a pro, which is something that's happening on the 8th of December. So watch out for that video. But if I'm not playing against a pro or someone notable or at a very notable place or with a very notable concept, they're good videos and my audience really likes them, but they don't have a lot of outside reach, which is why I'm doing them 8 in a row, because I was going to like schedule them out over a longer period. But it was a really good concept and a really fun video to film. They just aren't working for what my channel needs for the growth that I want to see for right now. So finishing all 8 of those, as well as having videos that I think will do a little bit better every single day for the first 8 days. But yeah, those are essentially like lots of different concepts here. A couple of them. One of them, we played like a relatively long wooded course and played it with putters only. That's coming out on the 2nd. On the 1st, tomorrow, we did a wheel of benefits. I already put up the wheel of consequences. Wheel of benefits means if you lose the hole, you get to spin a wheel and get a benefit. One of them is like you get a mulligan. One of them might be like it's what something really good happens for you. I think wheel
Nice.
of consequences is more fun because it's always like I had a bunch of dizzy throws, which is really annoying. But yeah, there's a lot of videos, a lot of ideas. I don't think I'll have the problem of running out of ideas. I just am probably eventually going to have to hire out some help to help me shoot and edit some stuff in my style so that I can get even more ideas up.
Yeah, so something that I get asked more frequently than I would have thought is how do you balance things that you enjoy creating versus stuff that you know is going to do well? And my response is, I don't know what's going to do well. I throw it at the wall and see what sticks. But your channel's grown so much. How do you do that? Like what's your favorite thing to shoot? And then what does the best for you?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think my it's kind of hard to say what my favorite thing to shoot is. I think it's better to kind of like philosophize about the main question of like how do I balance what is going to do well and what I like to do. And I think like first of all, just even niching down so far into being a disc golf channel already does that of a sort. And then because I already am interested in disc golf, and I think on top of that, a lot of it is I think that my style of content, the way that I do, even like disc reviews, is pretty engaging. Like I can see that in my retention on my analytics. And I really like testing out new discs, which is lucky because everybody likes seeing how new discs fly. And so like I really like that. And I also like training and people like to watch me train for the journey. I think the main thing that helped me was inviting people into a larger story of someone who is newer to the sport, who's still learning, who has a big goal, and how am I going to get there? Like all my videos that I do are disc reviews. I call them bag it or bin it because I want to see if it'll go in my bag or if I go in the trash. And so like I don't know what it's going to be when I start, but we'll play a bunch of holes with it. If I can't beat par with it, I'll give it away. Otherwise, like we'll just see what I think about the disc. If I like it, if I don't like it, and that's in and of itself its own story. But it's fun for me because I get to go out and play a couple holes of disc golf in a weird format that I never would have done before, just with like one disc or two discs, and I'm like putting with mid ranges sometimes. But I don't really. But at the same time, like the videos, like the battle videos, it's similar to what you're saying. Is like you got to throw stuff at the wall. So I have some ideas that I think will do well, but I have no idea if they will. And I'm going to put up some, so here, I'll give you guys an exclusive real fast. One thing that I'm
Hell
wanting
yeah.
to do starting in January, February is so I had the Bodanza battles and those videos didn't do super well, but the series that always does well in anything is skins. People love skins matches. So I'm thinking of doing something called subscriber skins, where instead of we battle for a disc over 9 holes, I play versus 3 of my subscribers or a subscriber and their 2 buddies. And then if I win a hole, I keep my disc. If they win a hole, they get a disc out of the bin right then and there. And so it's just like so I have no idea if that's going to do well because it seems like a similar concept with an interesting twist that might make it do better. And so I'll probably film a couple of those, throw them up. If they continue to do poorly, scrap the idea and move on to the next thing. That's kind of what happened with my Bodanza battles, where I realized these videos are all right and they're doing okay, but they're doing about a third to a fourth of my normal viewership. And they also take a really long time to shoot and edit. And it's fun to meet subscribers, but I can just meet subscribers without having to film it. And that's way less of my time anyways. And so that sounds like a blast to be able to do that. And I don't have to put up a video that I know is going to make me a quarter of the money that another video would make me. So yeah, that's kind of where it all comes down. I totally agree with you. You got to throw stuff at the wall and then kind of follow what hits. And then I throw more stuff at the wall in a different direction because I always want to keep innovating. Like I know that there are going to be silos of content that are consistently like, these are things that I know work, and I'm going to continue to do them in a very similar format with slight changes or slight improvements so that it never gets stale. And there's always something new that the audience can expect. But I'm also going to try this other silo of content. And if it flops, it flops. And my diehards will watch it, maybe a couple other people, but it won't be that good. And it'll be fun. And it's something that me and my diehards can laugh at a year down the line. And then there'd be another silo that I throw at the wall and it does very, very well. And then I can follow that train and continue to innovate and keep everything interesting and fresh. Because I think about my channel more as a media organization, where if you have like seasons of content, like you need to change things up in another season. And you need to change things up in another season. Otherwise, you're going to lose people's attention overall because it just becomes the same thing. And someone new will be able to come along and like kind of take over a large part of the niche, which I think is kind of what I've done in the past couple months. Because it was 2 months ago, I think I had 600 subscribers and I just passed 8,000 today. And so
wow.
like all that's happened so fast. And I think like as long as I can continue to keep innovating and my diehards will ride with me, and I will bring more and new people along, and hopefully people outside of disc golf as well, as I try to innovate collaborations with other sports content creators. But that's all stuff that's pretty far down the line, and it keeps things interesting for me because I, as an ideas guy, want to always try new things. And so if I have to do the same thing over and over and over again, then I stop enjoying it as much. So I can still do those things that I know will do well, but also try the crazy stuff that might get 3,000 views, but also might get 50,000 views. And that's the range, and we'll see what happens.
That's pretty awesome though.
Going off of that, do you have anything that like you really, really wish had done better so you can keep doing it?
At this point, I don't really think so, because I would say the battle videos, because those are a lot of fun, but they are probably from shooting to editing about 3 more times work than any of my other content is. Especially even just thinking about coordinating all of that and being at the right place at the right time with the right people and making sure that they're there. And sometimes they're late and sometimes I'm late, and then we have to shoot it, and then I have to mic them up, and then we have to make sure that, and then I have to like make sure that they're also interesting on camera a lot of times through the edit or just through things, because we're just meeting. So it's always awkward because you're just meeting someone for the first time. And so I would probably say that, but I'm honestly like, a part of me is very okay with the fact that it's not done super well, because I know it's going to be so much less work for me to put up a same video in that slot that does better than that video does. And luckily I haven't had enough. I haven't thrown enough things at the wall that haven't stuck, that I have something that's like that right now. But if I do have something that's like that, I'll probably still put 1 or 2 of them up a month, because if I'm doing 25 to 30 videos, 2 of those can be throwaways and I'll still be fine.
That makes sense.
So with your bag it or bin it, you give away if you shoot over par, right?
Yeah.
What has there been a disc
if I don't beat par? So even
Yeah.
even is under par.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you don't beat par, okay.
Even, yeah, if I don't beat par. So even doesn't count. I got to get birdies.
Gotcha. So has there been a disc that you've had to give away that you're like, man, I want to bag it, but by my own rules, I have to give it away?
Yeah, there's one that, so luckily I have a pretty solid lead time. So like I have all but 4 videos filmed through December 10th, and I have 18 videos going up in that time. So like I have a pretty solid lead time. And then I also have some videos filmed after that. So there was one, the Axiom Pyro, that it replaced my Justice slot, because I had the Razor Claw 3 that I liked, and I preferred throwing that to the Justice, but I wanted an overstable mid-range that was like throwable but would fade. And so some people recommended the Pyro, so I reviewed the Pyro and ended up like, oh, this is what I'm looking for to get rid of that Justice slot. And so I took Justice out of my bag, and luckily that video went live maybe like 4 days ago, and I had a tournament like 8 days ago or 10 days ago. And so I still bagged it for my tournament and got a couple birdies with it. And then I gave it away. So I was kind of able to cheat the system on that one. But I also wanted to try out a pig that I gave away the same day that I didn't beat par. So I might have to buy one of those. And then there was one last one called the RPM Huia, which I just yesterday's video.
Yeah,
I
I saw
lost that
one.
challenge. So that's in a giveaway. And that one I liked, but I actually, the video is going live today. I found the disc that I actually prefer to it in that 7502 slot. So I was mad because I was going to bag it for my tournament and then I didn't. But yeah, it's all good. There's just discs. If I really want it, I'll just buy it. You know what I mean? So it's not the end of the world.
What have you found a disc that's now like a staple in your bag from that series?
Probably the Razor Claw 3 is that for me. I've thrown that one for a while. I'm trying to think through my bag and like what I really like to throw. I mean, one of them I really like the Inner Core from Trash Panda. I actually just aced with that over on Monday.
Nice.
That one I've been really liking throwing. Yeah, and so that one, the Razor Claw 3. What I'm trying to do right now. I'm trying to take every mold in my bag or every slot. So like you think understable, mid, stable, mid, overstable, mid. Same thing for fairways, putters, drivers. I'm trying to make each of those different companies, different manufacturers. Because as someone who's like audience is growing, I don't want, like, I am a big trilogy guy. That's how I got started, because Jonathan, who makes Latitude 64's videos, he's like my hero. Like, I love that guy. He's so funny. His content is great. And so as I got into the sport, and so as I got into the sport, already being a YouTube guy, I like gravitated toward Latitude stuff because he did such a good job with the content. And so I have so much trilogy in my bag, which is cool, but I don't want to be known as an XYZ guy, especially if I'm not sponsored by that company. Like, I don't want my audience to be like, oh, he's a trilogy guy, because there's like, discs are discs for the most part. The more I review, the more I see that some of them just fit with you better than other people, but so many discs are so good from everywhere. Like, there's not a lot that I would say Bennett, like truly Bennett. But that's why I'm trying to get a different manufacturer in every single slot, so that like I'm not the trilogy guy, the Latitude guy, and I have something that's different from every single company in my bag. Even just from a business perspective, like if my goal is to be the biggest disc golf influencer by the end of next year. Like, I kind of also want to try to beat Simon. We'll see what ends up happening there. But my goal is to be as big as I possibly can be. And if I have that much of a following and I'm still posting that much, that's a lot of free advertising for whichever company. And if I have majority one company, I don't want to be advertising for free for just one company unless they really make the absolute best molds of absolutely everything. I don't want it to be out of convenience. So I want to find different molds in every single slot that I can slot it into my bag. And that way, like, I'm more well versed with all the companies, but at the same time, I'm not like advertising for one specific company. But if I have it in my bag, you know that I really like it because I kicked out whatever else was in my bag when I started this journey.
Yeah, that checks out. That makes sense.
Have you had anything weird that like you just, well, I know that maybe what the answer to this is something that you absolutely hated in Baggett or Bennett?
Yeah, I think you probably know the tomahawk from yesterday's video.
That has one of my favorite disc golf quotes of the year, to be honest.
What was that? The shred it and send it to Trash Panda?
Yeah, he said this disc is trash. Throw it away, shred it up, send it to Trash Panda so he can do something useful with it.
Yeah. So funny, in the version that didn't actually make the final cut, when I recorded that, and this is all like for the moment and whatnot, but it didn't end up. It didn't make sense for the story to keep this little couplet in. But when I first said it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is garbage, garbo. And then I was like, burn it. No, don't burn it. Shred it and send it to Trash Panda so that he can make something good out of it. It was like, I didn't end up keeping the burn it in there. I just said the shred it part, but it was an escalation of like, burn it. No, that's not sustainable. Shred it and send it to Trash Panda, you know?
Nice.
But yeah, I think it's that one, just because it just kept slipping out of my hand. The grip, didn't really like it that much. And then today, actually, as we're recording, this video's probably going to go live after this podcast goes live, but I did a Castaplast review, and surprisingly not the Berg, because I initially didn't like the Berg, but I was throwing and putting with a premium plastic Rico, however you pronounce that, and
Rico,
it
yeah.
just was doing the same thing. Rico, oh shoot, I pronounced it Rico the whole video. That's gonna be bad. But yeah, it's just I did not get along with that disc. I wouldn't say bin it completely because I know it's good, and I know it's because I got little baby hands because I'm 2.5 feet tall. But otherwise, yeah, those two discs right now just do not go along with me well.
Yeah. Casaplast makes some really interesting discs. Some of their discs are great, but some of their premium plastic, it's so slick, man. It's just so slick. It's really hard to throw, but
yeah.
That's how I feel with the Discmania C line. Like, I don't understand how anybody holds on to this,
Really?
but everybody's got their thing. Kind of, I thought it was interesting what you're saying, or like discs are discs at the end of the day, because I feel that way, especially with mid ranges. Of like, pretty much every mid range is the same. Like the straight flying mid range, I don't think there's one that
100%
actually is the best one. I think that it's just, what do you like? What did you stumble
what fits
upon
your
first?
hand best? What fits your throwing style?
Which pro throws it that you really like all those things
Exactly.
that fit into it, you know?
Yeah.
And that's why, like, too, that's why on my channel, like, I've seen some people in their disc reviews kind of shy away sometimes of like saying their like most based feelings about something, like, I hate this is trash, like, this is terrible, because honestly, like, at the end of the day, it's just my opinion. Like, this disc that I hate can be one of your favorite discs, and like, but for the sake of content, I'm going to give my most raw emotions about it, because that makes a much more entertaining video, and also gets more comments because people hate my takes sometimes. But like, it's just a disc. Like, discs are just discs. Some of them I hate that you will love, and some of them you love and I will hate them, and that's okay, because like almost all plastic that's made nowadays is good, except for the Tomahawk. That disc is trash.
Yeah. You should get a one disc challenge with a groove and come back to me on that opinion, if that's the worst disc.
Yeah, a bag it or bin it groove.
That's interesting.
With the groove, or like a turbo putter or something.
Oh my gosh!
Like
these are ideas I'm sure are
ideas
shoved away somewhere that I've forgotten about.
Try to throw rollers
exactly.
with the turbo putter and see how good it is.
Oh
Evan,
my gosh! Does that even work?
I don't know. If you post the video, I'd watch it. That's all I'm saying.
All right, good to know. One viewer, check.
Yeah, I know. Checked off the list. It does the turbo putter roll. Evan, you said you had a couple of questions that people sent in.
I had them, but people they've just come up naturally. So hopefully everybody who sent in their questions is satisfied. A lot of people like the bag it or bin it.
Cool. That worked out then.
Absolutely. Some things just work out perfectly. Well, Anthony, what do you got going on? Give you some time to plug all your stuff.
Sure. Yeah. Right now, mainly for me, it's just YouTube. I'm not planning on stopping posting every day for a good while, because I have plenty of ideas and plenty of videos filmed. So go check out my stuff over on YouTube. Plenty of content. If you don't like it, drop a dislike. Let me know that you're there at least. And
it's normally smash
that's it.
that
I don't
like
have
button.
anything major to plug. Yeah, definitely smash the like button and subscribe. My one thing is I'm launching this tomorrow, but my goal is 15,000 subscribers by the end of December. And if I hit 15,000 subscribers by the end of December, by the end of December, I'm going to put a poll in my community tab for my subscribers to choose what I wear for my first round of professional disc golf. So it will be what people want, but if I hit 15,000 subscribers by the end of December, my first MPO tournament, first round, I will wear what you guys want, and I'll have a tournament vlog, obviously, because I vlog all my tournaments. So,
do you happen to know who Jamie Keep is?
I've heard the name, but I'm not familiar.
He's a semi-local pro to the Jacksonville, like just kind of the Florida Southeast area. Yeah. But he always wears some of the most ridiculous stuff. I think one year at an A tier, he was on Terry Miller's coverage wearing a Pikachu hat with the ears and the tail, and
I feel like I had to have seen him before because I have some recollection of some coverage that I watched at some point with the crazy
Yeah.
something.
He's
Did
the
he
guy
play
that
through it
has
on
a
the
peg.
mountain at some point?
Yeah.
yeah, that's probably what it was. So
Yeah, definitely had to have been.
I'm picturing something like that, but hopefully for the sake of your content, it's even more pushing the boundaries of what you're allowed to wear under the PDGA guidelines.
As long as it's PDGA legal, I will do it.
You and Joel
I don't want to be
Freeman
dress
just
code.
pushing the boundaries, huh?
No, he just looks good. He's got nice clothes that he wears. Says these things. I gotta up my game. I just wear like black shorts and a gray top. It's boring.
Super monochrome. Nice. Class. Well, cool, man. I really appreciate you joining us. It's been interesting to kind of learn about your journey and talk some of this stuff through. It's always cool to talk to other content creators and kind of pick their minds and learn a little bit about, what's going on in their world. So thanks so much for joining.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you guys for having me.
It was very interesting talking to Anthony. It's really cool to talk to content creators, like you said, to pick their brain, see how they approach things. I think anybody, especially people who want to be on the pro scene, kind of like he wants to be, like Kevin Fodry said from episode 3, and something that we've really pushed on this podcast is you have to have some sort of presence and you have to understand how social media audiences work. So it's really interesting to have all the different perspectives, especially with Anthony. He seems to have years of content planned out.
Yeah,
and already
that's
filmed.
incredible. That's such a luxury, man, to have like half a month or so of content just sitting around that you can just kind of chill on. Like that's awesome.
Yeah, I think it's definitely something that people who want to get bigger in the sport can take notes on. Like have a bank of content, and you don't have to be filming every single time you go out to the course. Just have stuff that every now and again you can go to the well, and you don't even need to be in town. You don't even need to have your bag with you. You can still post stuff.
Yeah, take a couple weeks off and go do whatever and just set stuff for automatic upload or whatever. So yeah, it's sick. Yeah, no, it's awesome. Super, super nice guy. Yeah, I can't wait to check the channel out more. I honestly hadn't heard much about him before today, and so I'm pretty excited to go see what else is out there in the disc golf network.
Absolutely. Well, that wraps it up for today. You could find Anthony on Instagram at Bodanza Disc Golf and on YouTube at Bodanza Disc Golf. You can find Dan on Instagram at D Hesser and me at Evan Amstutz DG. Remember to follow the pod on Instagram at Mediocre Disc Golf Pod and on Twitter at Mediocre DG Pod. If you'd like to support us, buy one of our shirts on mythicdiscgolf.com and listen to us every Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern. If you enjoyed the show, leave us 5 stars in a review. And if you didn't, still give us 5 stars and tell us why. We know we aren't perfect because we are mediocre. Have a good night.